Hello, this is Randy, and welcome back to another edition of Brain Break with Randy and Keitho. It's just me again tonight. I wanted to talk about experiences in substitute teaching. It was really quite informative for the couple of years that I did it. I still miss those kids. For all of the behavior problems that I'll talk about, the majority of the kids were simply amazing, just great kids with parents that care and really look out for them. But then there's the kids that are probably a lot like I was, just a handful. I was at one school and there was a little boy, and his mom was in prison and his guardian was going to prison. And so they were going to send him back to be with his grandmother. He didn't want to go because she was mean to him. And this wonderful teacher said that she would take him instead of him going into the foster care system. The little boy agreed to that. What a difference it made to have somebody caring in his life. Some kids, their parents, it seems like they must not spend enough time with them. I'm not sure. I mean, we all do crazy things. We're kids. That's part of growing up. But one time I was in a school and I really liked the school. This school would plan on training all of their teachers for the grade at the same time, and they would bring me in as a substitute. I substituted for several different teachers when they would have this training, and they would be on site, but I would take care of the kids all day long. I really enjoyed teaching them. By and large, they were great kids, but there was, kids get a little anxious, and if you don't get enough energy out, it's going to come out one way or another. And now, you got to understand, when you're a substitute, you really don't know anything about the dynamics of a classroom. You come in, your lesson plan that you're given, if you're given one, sometimes it happens that you aren't. You just kind of wing it. Those are not the fun days, but they can be. But anyway, this school was great, but all of the other teachers around me were substitutes as well. So there wasn't anybody I could turn to and say, hey, do you know what's going on with this or with that? These kids were great kids. I mean, we'd take them to recess and then PE. I thought they got their energy out, but I must have missed something, because towards the end of the day, two boys that had been cooperating all day and working together and really being helpful started grappling with each other. Put an end to that. I said, hey, no, back off. You guys go sit in your respective desks. You're not going to wrestle with each other in the classroom. That's just not going to happen. While I was having that short little talk with them, two girls got into a fight. It turned out one of the boys in the class said, well, if the boys can't fight, maybe the girls can. So one of the girls, who was larger, grabbed probably the smallest girl in the class and was trying to break her arm by bringing her knee up and pushing her hands down, which were holding the arm, the forearm of the girl. It really hurt her. One, because she wasn't a mean little girl, and two, because this other girl was content that if she could break that arm, it was going to be a good thing. I'm not sure where she got that idea. I dismissed the kids, and I kept these two girls afterwards. Now, I knew everybody's name. I think I'd been there a couple of times. So I took these two girls up to the office, and the girl that really started it all. Now, the two boys, I didn't know they had anything to do with this, but it turned out they did. So the two boys went home, and then the girl that really instigated it, she took off and was on her way home. So I went up with their teacher, told the principal what was going on, and gave my statement. I was really embarrassed because this had never happened to me before, where two kids were trying to fight in the classroom when I was there. So the principal got my statement, and she couldn't find any of the other three kids, the two boys and the girl. Figured they were on their way home, and she got on the phone and talked to the parents. And this girl went to see the nurse, and the nurse put ice packs on her arm and wrapped it up. Then this girl went in to see the principal, and they asked me to leave. But as I was leaving, I could hear the principal letting her have it, saying, you can't ever let it get to that stage. You've got to stop it. And that's actually very good advice. I don't know what happened, but I know that the two boys, had been one of the boys that was fighting, that said, well, if we can't fight, maybe you can. They said that before I got a chance to talk to them. I didn't even know they'd done this. Then the larger girl, the taller girl, she was the one that instigated it and also got in trouble. I'm not sure what happened, To be honest with you, they asked me to come back for that very classroom, and I chose not to go. I already had an assignment for a school that I really liked. I said, I just can't come that day. I don't know if that means I chickened out, but I was kind of disappointed in that class because when those two girls were going at it, some of the kids were standing around, cheering them on. I remember when I was in junior high that we had a hill in a vacant piece of land across the street from our junior high. That's where everybody would meet and fight. It was stupid. I don't know that anybody really got hurt, and certainly the girls didn't fight each other. I know I did not ride the bus, so I either rode my bike or I walked home. It was quite a distance, but it was fun. I knew some friends along the way. I'd walk with them part way and then finish up walking to my home. But I never had to go to the hill and fight anybody. When I was in high school, I did get into some fights. Actually had a very good record as far as being able to defend myself. Not something I'm proud of at this point in my life. But, fighting is just not one of those things that is a good thing, especially in school. We need to teach our kids not to be violent with each other. We need to teach our kids to respect each other. I look at these school shootings, one in Georgia, which just occurred, where a 14-year-old boy came in with a gun his father had purchased for him, an AR-15, and he wounded 9 and killed 2 students and 2 teachers. One of those teachers was the parent of 2 young children, and they have arrested and charged the father because he bought the gun. The mother's been in prison most of this boy's life. And when the FBI came and talked to the father over a year ago and told him about the problems that this boy was concerned about, and they told him that he needed to get his son into some counseling, therapy. That never happened. And so the father is being charged as an accessory before the fact because, 1, he wasn't willing to put his guns up, even put them in a safe. 2, he bought his son a gun and ammo. That was the gun and ammo he took and used. I don't quite understand that. No one's ever bought me an AR-15, and I've been alive a lot longer than that 14-year-old kid. My point is, it wasn't the gun that did the harm. It was the lack of parenting, the lack of someone helping this kid to understand why he wasn't fitting in. Because obviously somebody that's doing this is an outcast of one kind or another. You don't get the prom king, star quarterback isn't the one that's taking a gun and shooting things up. It's always the kid that feels put upon. And I'm grateful I never felt that way. I thought being popular was more about being nice to people, which is the way I had been raised. Looked out for people, didn't want to say anything negative about people. At least that's what I think. It's been interesting. Several years ago, was in training, and 2 nice gentlemen, one from Nigeria and one from Ghana, took over my Instagram accounts. I had 3, and my Facebook account. And Google was the only one that stopped them. They knew that they were trying to get into my account from Africa, so they stopped them. But both Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, and I had 10,000 followers on those 3 accounts on Instagram, well over 2,000, 2,500 followers on LinkedIn and on Facebook. Now, and that's what they wanted it for. Very quickly, they found out that my friends weren't dummies, weren't going to fall for their stuff, and they knew it wasn't me. But I got so fed up with the fact that even though I got into this 2 hours later and I wasn't able to go home, get all the codes and everything, I don't remember all those things. Neither Facebook, Meta for Facebook, or Instagram gave me any assistance at all. They didn't shut down the accounts, and LinkedIn was the same way. They didn't care. Somebody else had my account. Oh, well, which is really disappointing to me because as somebody that's been in business my whole life, I've always tried to do the right thing for the right reasons. Let's put it this way. Meta didn't impress me. I know I will post this on Facebook. That's the only way I have of getting people out to see it. It's not the only way. It's one of the ways. Thank you so much for joining with me. Please endeavor to be the best parent and grandparent you can be. Please teach those you're around that violence isn't the answer. If they're lonely, they're sad, their feelings are hurt, to come to you. and you be there for them like that teacher was for that little boy. By the way, he's still living with her. It's been almost 2 years. He's an amazing little boy. She's an amazing, I guess you'd call her a foster mother, but she's wonderful. I think it's wonderful that she has done that for him and been able to look out for him. So let's do what we can to be good and to treat people well. Thank you again for joining me for this episode of Brain Break with Randy and Keitho. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. And if you can, leave a comment. We love those as well. Have a great day.